Late one night, the rich man suddenly became short of breath. Driss rushed over to him, placed a towel on his forehead, instructed him to control his breathing and soothed him, and for that moment, the rich man, who was suffering from illness, saw him as an angel. Gradually, he calmed down and Driss sat by his side keeping watch. When he had another seizure, still unable to breathe, Driss decisively carried him into his wheelchair and pushed him outside. The two stroll along the river in the dappled light, the fresh Parisian air at 4 the morning comforting the rich man, who for the first time appreciates Driss's responsibility and attentiveness, and the two men, uncharacteristically, are excited to see ladies out in the middle of the night, which they also share. When Rich suddenly felt unwell again, Driss lit up a cigarette, allowing him to experience unparalleled relaxation and ease, knowing that the other caregivers would not even let him smell the smoke. That evening, for the first time, they had a long talk about women and women's bodies, with Driss making the occasional sarcastic joke, which allowed Rich to drop all his mental baggage and spill the beans on the misery of the past few years. When his wife had 5 miscarriages, he took his wife paragliding and once had a tragic accident in which she died instantly and he was left paralyzed. It was not just his illness that he could not walk away from. It was his wife's departure that weighed so heavily on Darius for the first time. The two men had become good friends who talked about everything. The rich man smiled and said, "Your probationary period is over." Rich had made a pen pal and was afraid to call the other man even after 6 months of talking. When Driss found out, he picked up the phone and called, helping them break through, and the two have been talking ever since. But when the pen pal offered to exchange photos, a new problem arose. Rich was afraid to use a picture of him in a wheelchair because he feared the other man would not like him as a disabled person, but Driss thought he should be honest.
Vous n'êtes pas obligé de lui envoyer une photo genre Téléthon avec le filet de bain avec une sale tête.
Outwardly the rich man agrees, but behind his back he has his housekeeper change the photo to the one he had before his accident, and the photo in the wheelchair is accidentally put in Driss' CV. The rich man's birthday is coming up, and Driss, thinking he's been getting a lot of art, decides to paint a picture of himself as a present. It's kind of cute when a former gangster gets serious about art. The final product is a bit abstract, and everyone looks at it as if he painted it and begs to differ. The rich man introduces the painting to his friend, saying that it is by a certain master and that he is going to exhibit it in London. The friend decided that it was similar to the Nosebleed painting and that it was a work not to be missed, so he bought it for 11,000 euros. The rich man gave Driss the money from the sale of the painting, which was enough for him to brag about it for 3 years. He didn't know if the rich man really knew anything about art, but he knew that the rich man intended to help him.